So we have a new toy in Case Ratio Online. We trailed this previously that we were going to try and integrate the MS 365 version of Word, the online version of Word that we're getting through the new Microsoft 365 licensing. We're trying to integrate that with Case Ratio Online, and that has now been done. So under your user settings, there are now three options with regards creating documents in Case Ratio Online. Controlled by these two questions here. Option number one is this reference to opening document in native application. Some people already have this turned on. This is the difference between using the web editor, which we call DevExpress, or turning this on so that you use a full version of Microsoft Word, the desktop version of Microsoft Word 2013 that you have on your Tuckers laptops. The problem with the DevExpress is that the Word editor is not as good as people like it to be, particularly for creating sort of lists and just general formatting issues. The problem with using the full version of Microsoft Word is that there's a few extra clicks and it takes a bit longer to open documents and save documents. So hopefully now, with this turned off and this next one turned on, open document in Online Office, you will move the online web editor from DevExpress to Microsoft 365, the online version of Word. So if we go to the user settings, turn on open document in Online Office, and then update, your user settings will be set so that you will now be using the online version of Word. And this is exciting because, firstly, if you're using the preview window, you will see that it both loads and resizes a bit better than DevExpress has done in the past. And if you pop out into the full window, it also opens more quickly than the previous version, the DevExpress version. So there are speed benefits to the new online version that hopefully people will benefit from. So let's go through the process of creating a document. Communicate, document. I'm just going to do a blank letter. And in this case, this client has an email address. So when I press next, it's going to ask me the question about sending by email. And it's going to open in the new version of Online Word as opposed to the DevExpress editor. And as I said, hopefully that will happen a bit more quickly than has happened previously. So just to flag up, you may get this reference to compatibility mode and the functionality being limited. You can ignore that for the time being. Firstly, we're going to make it go away. Secondly, the real limitation is being able to copy and paste pictures into your documents. So unless you're really using these documents and you need to paste pictures in and resize pictures, then the limitation they're referring to here really isn't going to give you any issues. So I'm in this version of Microsoft Word and I can type, and we can see here that it's saving as we go along. And the way I save and close this document, there isn't the save and close button that you're familiar with in the top left hand corner. The way I save and close this document is literally just to close the tab. So the other main issue with this version of the Word editor is that it will not automatically attach that letter to an email. There's a couple of other clicks which relate to what they call the document tray, which has appeared here at the bottom. In this case, I click, I press attach, and that's the setting that will then move the document that you've created from the document tray onto the familiar format of a case ratio email that you can then press send. So just to go through that again, I think one of the things that people will want reassurance about is the issue of the document saving as it goes along. So let me just show you how robust this is. So I'm going to create the document. Okay, and here I'm going to start typing, but I'm going to let you continue to look in the top left-hand corner that I'm not going to allow it to finish the process of saving before I then close the document from the tab. So I'm going to finish this with sad, just so we know that's right. You can see it's still saving. I'm going to close. Yes, it was a routine letter. I wanted it to go by email, so I've still got to go through this share tray process, which I will send out that email. And then let's go back to the history, and we're just going to check that all of the content of that document was saved, even though I was being super fast, saving it far more quickly than I had any right to, and we can see that that's been saved right up to the end of the document. Also in the preview window now is this edit function. This means that we can now edit the document directly in the preview window rather than having to go into the full view. So you can see I can type here in the preview window. I can then use the close button. When I go back into the preview window, we can see the content that has been saved into the document. So one other thing to concern ourselves with, just while we're getting used to this system, is that you can see that the letterhead isn't showing within the document itself. And this is a function of this online of Microsoft Word. You can see that there's this button here which says header, and if you press that, it will show you the header and the footer that are being used. But this could be an issue for those people who are using different headers depending on the different offices or the different brand names being used, because you can't easily see that. So I've clicked the header button to get into the document. I can just click back into the center to come out of the document. So one way to see the header is to click the header button. The other way is if you went to the print function and opened a printable version of the document, it would show you the header that was being applied to that document. And separately, we're going to do a bit of work that when you open up the document, you will be able to specify a particular header if you think it's likely to be wrong for any reason. So the header will default to the normal header based on the branch or the fee earner, as it does currently. It will just be less visible, but for those people using different headers from time to time for different reasons, we'll bring some additional functionality in to make that more visible for you. But for the time being, either you have to rely on the fact that you've got the correct header, and notwithstanding the fact you can't see it in the main view, or you'll need to go to the header view or the print view to see precisely what the header is on the document before you save and close. There's one other thing we're looking into at the moment, which is the fact that the MS365 dictate function isn't currently integrated with this system, and that's one of the benefits we hope to get as well. So we're looking into that, but hopefully that will be resolved shortly also. But for now, even just the speed benefits of opening the documents should be sufficient to persuade some of you, if not all of you, to move to this version of the online Word editor.